I want to thank the NRM members for again showing trust in me and electing me as the NRM chairperson and also for the flag bearer. As we have discussed in our inner organs, but before I talk about the future, I hope nobody will accuse the Electoral Commission for campaigning for me. When they selected this site here, what I challenged the NRM media team to do is to go and get a satellite picture of 1986, if they can, of this area. Sometimes those pictures are there. Get a satellite picture of this area, this area, which they call Ruboa, Weza, they mix them up. This whole area, up to Gwebaja. If they could get the satellite pictures of 1986 of these areas, and now, then you not have to campaign much, you just show. You Gen Z people, these are Gen Z, Gen Z. The Gen Z is my comrades, my supporters. You should see that picture of 1986 here. This was a coffee shamba here. That's why they call it Ruboa Estate. It was a coffee shamba owned by a British company called Mitchell Courts. Now when you come here, it's amazing. If you, all the way you can see. A satellite picture of 1986 and now would speak many words rather than just talking. And the whole of, if you want to show the whole of Kampala, 1986 from the satellite, and now, just the picture. So where we are moving to now is to, again, convince the people of Uganda of what has been achieved in the past and what we are planning to do now. At Kololo, I will say more in the afternoon, but really we have got two major thrusts. Thrust number one is to work with the middle class and the investors from outside to completely transform Uganda from a lower middle income country, which we are now. We are no longer a least developed country, we are now a lower middle income country, to high middle income country moving towards first world country. I think the idea is that in this Kisanja, which you are now concluding, if you check the figures, the GDP of Uganda has doubled, apparently. I had not bothered to check that, but they pointed it out, that at the end of the last Kisanja, we were like 34 billion. We are now 66 billion.
Thank you, Your Excellency. My name is Timothy Nyangweso with UBC. My question is the number, you both showed that the numbers between 0 and 18 is 55%. And also 19 to 24 is about 22%. In the next Chisanja, we're going to have about a boom of young people, 49%. What is the plan for those young people of a boom of 49% in the next Chisanja?
The answer to your question is what we have told you. And I would like anybody who has got contrary opinion to oppose it. We have told you repeatedly that the answer for all Ugandans for livelihood are the 4 sectors. Nyangweso ulide munange sectors enya obubondo obuna mukamereza muzikola obazikola munkwate ate anampakanya aveyo tuwakane. There is no other way except the 4 sectors. Sector 1, commercial agriculture with the Chivaro. If you have got land, if you want to get out of poverty, route number 1 to get out of poverty is to engage in commercial agriculture with the Chivaro. And we have told you repeatedly how that should be. Sector 2, manufacturing and artisanship. That is the second sector. Third sector, services, hotels, tourism, transport, rumor mongering like you people here. Somebody lives by rumor mongering. This is a service. Nyangweso is picking rumors from here, taking them around that he's informing us. Most of the time he's misinforming us. But we pay you. That Nyangweso is paid for Oksakama Uri. Oksakama Uri, no Bulimba, Bionana Sakan, Netumusasula. Services. Sector 3. Sector 4, it is really part of Sector 3, but I like to put it separate. ICT. There is, for instance, a sector known as, an activity known as BPOs, business processes outsourcing. Somebody can be an auditor here or an accountant, and he gets assignment from Canada, a company in Canada. They send you their books here. You arrange them properly as an accountant should do, and you send them back, and they pay you. So this is the 4th sector.
Echange chikwata ku byanjigiriza wayogedde ku byenjigiriza ebyobwerere bye wateekawo naddala mu masomero aga primary naye mangi ku masomero gano mu byalo eyeewala abaana basomera wansi mu miti ate n'abasomesa ennaku zino babadde beekalakaasa nga tebasasulwa ssente bulungi n'entono ze balina obbasasula ate kumpi balina zikubira bikonde tebazifuna abaana bangi ennaku zino tebakyasoma abali mu byalo. Ogenda kukola otya mu kisanja kino okulaba ng'ensonga eno egonjoolwa ate era mu byalo eyo amasomero agasinga tegali nnyo kumpi n'abayizi bangi bakyatambula eŋŋendo empanvu. Ogenda kikola otya mu kisanja kino Jjajja Mwami?
Pulaani ye twatandika nayo yali okufuna essomero lya gavumenti, kufuna essomero lya gavumenti erya primary bulumuruka. Owulidde namugambe va ku byabyalo hanga aleme okudivatinga owuliriza ebya Jjajja Mwami. Kati you check the parishes. When we started, I remember the parishes were like 5,000. So I think by now all the old parishes may have already got a primary school. The problem is again obutafwa onyokuwuliriza because come to the microphone Namuganda. So twatandika nkakasa n'emiruka yali nga 15 I think, but we can check. And the plan was make sure there is a government primary school per parish. Abaana basobole okutambula n'ebigere bagende basome bakomewo. I think now, but the local government keep increasing the parishes. But if you increase, for instance, like in our parish of Mama and myself, the one of Chikoni, we used to have one primary school somewhere there. Now there are like 4. But even if we maintained the old one, the one we had in that parish, children could have walked or cycled to the school and go back and study. But, so I will check the number and answer you properly in some of the...
Abo bonna batukwatidde flaga.
The leaders of the different groups,
Abakulembeze b'ebibiina ebyenjawulo ebiri wano.
the converts,
Abakyuse bannaffe.
the ones who are in jail,
Abo bonna abali mu makomera.
and all people who are here.
Nammwe abantu mwenna abali wano ab'emikwano.
First of all,
Okusookera ddala,
I want to congratulate the former prisoners
njagala
for getting out of prison.
okukulisa bannaffe abo ababadde mu makomera okuba nti basobodde okuvaayo.
It's good they are admitting their mistakes.
Ekirungi bakkiriza ensobi zaabwe,
And that's why I forgave them.
era y'ensonga lwaki nasobola okubasonyiwa.
The leaders of, especially NUP,
Abakulembeze naddala aba Nuupu
and to some extent some branches of FDC,
awamu n'abo abavudde mu FDC,
abamu obutundu obumu bwa FDC.
kyekyo taata.
They are very poor leaders
Abo bakulembeze si balungi
because they endanger young people,
olw'ensonga nti babuzaabuza abantu baffe abato abakyali abato.
endanger bayingiza mu kabenje,
babulabe
bayingiza mu kabi.
babulabe gye muli babayingiza mu bikyamu.
It's not just bukyamu, very serious bukyamu.
babateeka mu bulabe.
What they were telling you to do was very dangerous for your lives.
bye babadde babagamba okukola bibadde biteeka obulamu bwammwe mu kabi.
Indeed, we lost some youth
Ekyamazima tulina abamu ku bavubuka be twafiirwa
during the riots
mu biseera ebyo we baali beekalakaasiza.
So I'm glad you have now seen the mistake.
N'olwekyo ndi musanyufu okuba nti musobodde okulaba ensobi ezo,
And I have heard your memorandum.
era mpulidde ekiwandiiko kyammwe.
We shall see how to assist you.
Tujja kulaba engeri gye tuyinza okubayamba.
During the time of elections,
Mu biseera eby'obululu
donations are not allowed.
ebiweebwayo tebikkirizibwa mu biseera eby'obululu.
But we shall see what government programs
Naye tujja kulaba mu puroguramu za gavumenti
which can help you.
eziyinza okubayamba.
But because those are not electoral issues.
I beg your pardon?
Those are not electoral issues.
Kubanga ebyo ebya gavumenti tebigwa mu bino ebyokulonda.
Now, the second group
Kaakati gurupu ey'okubiri
are the converts.
be babannaffe abakyuse.
I welcome you
Mbaaniriza mwenna
and congratulate you.
era mbayozaayoza.
The these opposition parties
ebibiina bino ebyobufuzi ebiwakanya gavumenti
have no value
tebirina makulu
because I have been here for the last 65 years.
kubanga mbaddewo wano okumala emyaka 65 egiyise
Watching.
nga mbalaba mbatunuulira.
First of all, we had the old parties, DP, Kabaka Yeka, UPC.
Twalinawo ebibiina ebikadde Kabaka Yekka, UPC, DP.
Those were based on sectarianism.
Ebyo byali amaanyi bigatadde nnyo mu njawukana ezo. Ezo ziyuzaayuza mu bantu baffe.
Following tribes
nga bagoberera amawanga
and religion.
nga bagoberera amadiini.
That's how Uganda got into a crisis.
Era ebyo bye byaviirako Uganda okugenda mu buvuyo bwe twalimu.
The problem of 1966.
Ebizibu bya 1966
when Obote fought with Mutesa.
Obote we yalwanira ne Muteesa.
The problems of 1971, Idi Amin.
Ebizibu bya 1971 ebya Amini.
Then the problems we had. The problems we had with 79.
Then n'ebizibu bye twafuna oluvannyuma lwa 1979.
So those parties have been advising them to not repeat those mistakes.
Kakati ebibiina ebyo tubadde tubiwa amagezi okulaba nga tetudda mabega eyo gye twava.
That's why the NRM talks about unity.
Yensonga lwaki ekibiina kye NRM kyogera ku kwegatta.
Now the new groups like NUP
naye ebibiina bino ebipya nga NUP
and FDC,
nga FDC,
they are both wrong and violent.
Ebyo ebibiina byombi bikyamu ate nga birwana
because of obutemu.
bikozesa obutemu obukyayi.
Obukyayi n'obutemu.
Kyekyo taata.
They are both.
Ebyo byombi obukyayi n'obutemu.
So for young people
n'olwekyo bannange mmwe abakyali abato
to be attracted by those groups,
bangi basikirizibwa ebibiina ebyo
to be attracted by those groups.
okubeera nga musikirizibwa ebibiina ebyo.
You are really endangering yourselves.
Mwereetera obuzibu.
So I congratulate you for coming back.
N'olwekyo mbaaniriza okuba nti mukomyewo eka. Mukulikeeyo nyeeka.
And I would like to ask you
Era njagala okubasaba
to talk to the others
mwogereko ne bannammwe abalala abasigaddeyo
so that they get out.
nabo baveeyo eyo.
Because we know whatever they are planning.
Kubanga tumanyi buli kyonna kye bateekateeka.
You heard.
Mwawulira?
You have heard now.
Oh, muwulidde kati.
That these people who were arrested,
muwulidde bannammwe nga boogera bano abaali basibiddwa.
That they were arrested on the 11th of May.
Nti baasibibwa ng'ennaku z'omwezi 11 omwezi ogwa May
2021.
mu mwaka ogwa 2021.
That was one day before my swearing in.
Olwo lwali olunaku olwonga okulayira kwange kwankeera.
Because they had been mobilized by Kyagulanyi.
Kubanga Kyagulanyi yali abakunze
under the slogan tajja kulayira.
Ng'akozesa ekigamba tajja kulayira.
You remember that campaign?
Bannange ndowooza mujjukira bulungi okwo okwaliwo.
So they were supposed to ban the Kampala.
Baali bateekateeka okwokya Kampala.
The day on the day of the swearing in.
ku lunaku lwennyini olw'okulayira.
So we arrested them the day before.
N'olwekyo eggulo limu ne tubakwata.
Now you can see how irresponsible those who mislead people are.
Kale bannange ndowooza mulaba obutaba na buvunaanyizibwa olw'abantu abakyamya abaana baffe.
Now for the youth who have come back,
kati ku lwammwe bannange abavubuka abakomyewo eka,
what I need to tell you and everybody,
kye njagala okubategeeza nammwe bannange mwenna abali wano,
that you must look at your livelihood.
mulina okutunuulira obulamu bwammwe n'engeri gye musobola okugenda mu maaso.
How will you live?
Mw'onooyimirirawo otya?
That's why
Y'ensonga lwaki
we would like you to support the NRM programs
twagala muwagire enteekateeka z'NRM zonna
which prepare you
ezibateekateeka
of how to live.
mu ngeri gy'osobola okuyimirirawo n'okubeerawo.
Some of them are working very well,
Abamu bakola bulungi,
like for instance, immunization.
kati gamba nga puroguramu y'okugema abaana.
That one is moving very well.
Eyo etambula bulungi puroguramu eyo.
That's why many of you don't have polio.
Y'ensonga lwaki mwenna abali wano abasinga obungi temwalwala bulwadde bwa mulalama ogwa polio.
Polio is not mulalama. Polio in Kinyarwanda they call it embasa.
Obulwadde obulemaza abantu. Polio.
Then all the other sicknesses were avoided.
Kakati n'ebirwadde ebirala byonna tugezaako okubirwanyisa.
Now, after that,
Oluvannyuma lw'ekyo,
now on immunization,
ku ky'okugema abaana,
if you added nutrition,
kasita ogattako okuliisa obulungi,
you added hygiene,
n'ogattako obuyonjo,
you added good lifestyle,
n'ogattako okwekuuma obulungi,
not drinking alcohol,
nga tonywa mwenge,
not doing umaraya,
tokola bwa malaaya, tokola bwenzi,
you avoid malaria by using treated bed nets.
n'ogezaako okwewala omusujja gw'ensiri ng'okozesa obutimba obukoleddwamu eddagala obutegekeddwa obulungi.
You avoid teenager pregnancies.
Ne weewala okufuna olubuto ng'okyali.
Because all those are very dangerous to life.
Kubanga bannange ebyo byonna bya kabi eri obulamu bwammwe.
You will find that you will live a healthy life.
Bw'oba ebyo byonna obyewaze ojja kulaba ng'obeera n'obulamu obulungi.
So you need to understand that.
N'olwekyo bannange ebyo byonna mulina okubitegeera.
Then after,
N'olwekyo ekyo nga kiwedde,
the next stage is education.
Ekiddako bye byenjigiriza.
That's why we would like you to support our program.
Y'ensonga lwaki mbasaba muwagire enteekateeka yaffe mu byenjigiriza
Of free education in government schools.
ey'abaana okusomera obwereere mu masomero aga gavumenti.
We started this program long ago,
Enteekateeka eno twagitandika dda.
but down there, some of the implementers
Abo abateeka mu nkola enteekateeka eyo
block it.
be basinza okugiremesa.
But in the coming Sunday, we are going to be we are going to be very, very, very harsh.
Kaakati nno njagala okubategeeza nti ekisanja kino ekijja tugenda kubeera bakambwe.
On the issue of free education.
Naddala ku nsonga ekwatana ku baana okusomera obwereere mu masomero ga gavumenti.
The head teachers have been using the pretext of not having enough teachers.
abakulu b'amasomero babadde balina kye bakozesa nga beekwasa ekyokuba nti tebalina basomesa bamala.
And that they are hiring additional teachers locally.
Nga balaga nti bapangisa abasomesa abalala eyo ebweru eyo.
Bawandiika.
Nga bawandiika nga bawa emirimu abasomesa abo abalala.
Yes. Now we have done the calculation.
Naye ffe tukoze ekibalo.
We need an extra 50,000 teachers.
Tulabye nga twetaagayo abasomesa abalala 50,000.
And we are going to recruit them.
Era njagala bakakasa abo tugenda bawa emirimu.
And block that excuse.
Tusobole okulaba nga tujjawo ekyo ekyekwaso kye babadde bakozesa.
So that children study free.
Abaana baffe basobole okusomera obwereere.
So if the children are secure because Uganda is secure,
nti abaana bwe baba nga bali basoma ng'era bali bulungi
bali mu ddembe.
nga bali mu ddembe,
Kubanga Uganda eri mu ddembe.
nga ne Uganda yaffe erina emirembe,
Then they are healthy
nga n'obyobulamu birungi,
and they study.
ng'era basoma.
The next is livelihood. Livelihood.
Ekiddako kyakwekulaakulanya maka.
Embeera y'omuntu mu bulamu.
Essebo. Embeera y'omu maka.
Embeera y'abantu. Whether they are livelihood, how you live, how you survive.
Engeri y'okubeerawo, engeri y'okwebeezaawo.
Now, this is where we say
wano we tugambira
livelihood has got 4 sectors.
Okwebeezaawo, okweyimirizaawo kuyina enteekateeka za mirundi ena.
Kulina obubondo.
Obubondo ssebo.
Buna. Translate it properly.
Okusobola okweyimirizaawo obulungi waliwo obubondo bwa mirundi ena bwe tusobola okuyitamu.
The first one
akasookera ddala
is commercial agriculture with ekibalo.
by'ebyobulimi n'obulunzi ebiyingiza ssente nga biriko ekibalo.
This one I've been telling you about so many times.
Kino mbadde nkibagamba emirundi mingi bannange.
The second one is manufacturing and artisanship.
Ekyokubiri ge makolero awamu n'ebyemikono.
Commercial agriculture.
Ebyobulimi n'obulunzi ebireeta ssente.
They can show you some video here. Show them like we don't have time to listen to the whole story.
Tuyinza obutaba na budde kuwuliriza byonna.
That Byamukama, using the 4 acres,
Byamukama oyo ng'akozesa ekenya,
is able to sell 302 trays of eggs per day.
Asobola okutunda tray z'amagi 302 olunaku.
And he gets 55 million shillings net every month.
Era ng'asobola okukola obukadde 55 buli mwezi ng'aggyeeko misoso egyo egirina okudda mu bizinesi.
In a year, that's almost 700 million shillings net.
Kati omwaka aba kumpi akola obukadde 700
net.
Ng'aggyeeko emisoso gyonna.
And he has coffee, he has
ayina
cows,
emwanyi,
he has got pineapples.
ayina ente, ayina ennaanansi.
So, that's just one example.
Kaakati oyo kyakulabirako kimu kyokka.
That is in commercial agriculture.
Kaakati ekyo ky'ekyobulimi n'obulunzi ebiyingiza ssente.
And he has created jobs.
Ate ng'asobodde n'okutondawo emirimu.
He has created jobs for 26 youth.
Atonzeewo emirimu eri abavubuka baffe 26.
Now, the second sector
Kaakati akabonde akookubiri
is factories
ge makolero
and artisanship.
Amakolero n'ebyemikono.
They can show you the factories.
Nsaba babalaga gw'abavubuka abakola mu kkolero eryo.
We are continuing to bring more factories to Uganda.
Tugenda kufuba okulaba nga twongera okuleeta amakolero amalala mangi mu Uganda.
Now the factories are employing 1.2 million Ugandans.
Kakati amakolero mu Uganda gawa abawera akakadde kamu n'emitwalo 2.
Now these are 1.2 million jobs.
Kakati gye emirimu
Almost 3 times the size of all the government servants.
Kakati makolero gawa emirimu akakadde kamu n'emitwalo 2 okubisaamu kumpi emirundi 3 kwegyo emirimu egiweebwa gavumenti.
So therefore the youth,
n'olw'ensonga eyo bannanga abavubuka,
you need to know that
mulina kino okukimanya ab'emikwano,
that when we bring factories,
nti bwe tuleeta amakolero
we bring them for you.
tugaleeta ku lwammwe.
Now these are big factories,
Kakati gano makolero manene,
but we also artisanship,
naye tulina n'ebyemikono.
and we are training youth through the skilling hubs of the presidential. They can show you what we are doing in the hubs.
Tugezaako okusomesa abavubuka ebyemikono nga tuyita mu matendekero ge tutaddewo mu bitundu eby'enjawulo, era mbadde nsaba babalageko ku ebyo ku screen nga bikoleddwa abavubuka nga mmwe,
whom we have just trained for 6 months.
ng'ate tubatendekedde emyezi 6 gyokka.
So that is the second sector.
Eyo ako ke kabondo ak'okubiri.
The third sector are services,
Akabondo ak'okusatu bwe buweereza,
like border borders,
gamba ng'abannaffe abavuga boodabooda,
like taxis,
abakola mu takisi,
hospitality, like hotels,
abakola mu ziwooteeri,
entertainment,
ebyokusanyusa.
all that is services.
Ebyo byonna bigwa mu ttuluba ery'obuweereza.
And the fourth sector
Era n'akabondo ak'okuna
is the ICT.
ke ebyo ebyakalimagezi.
So therefore, you need to see where you can go.
Era n'olw'ensonga eyo bannange, ebyo byonna bw'obitunuulira osobola okulondako w'osobola okugwa.
And what we have done
Era kye tusobodde okukola
is to prepare cheap capital
kwe kulaba nga tuteekawo enteekateeka ey'okubafunirawo ku nsimbi ezitakaluba, ezitayinza kubakaluubirira okusobola okutandika
for every sector.
mu buli kabondo.
That's why you hear PDM
Yensonga lwaki muwulira ssente eza PDM
for agriculture.
eziyamba ku bali mu by'obulimi n'obulunzi.
Then we have emyoga
Ne tubeera n'emyoga
for other skills.
eziyambako mu obwo obubondo obw'enjawulo,
Obukugu
obukugu obw'enjawulo.
Then we have now got capital for ghettos.
Kati tutaddewo n'ensako egenda okuyamba ku baana baffe abali mu ghetto.
Then we have got capital for border borders.
Tutaddewo n'ensako ey'abaana baffe aba boodabooda.
I totally agree that we should create a fund for the taxis.
Era nzikiriziganya nammwe nti mu buli ngeri tulina okussaawo ensako ey'abantu baffe abali mu takisi.
And then we are going to create a fund for fisheries.
Tugenda kutondawo n'ensako eyamba ku bantu baffe abali mu by'okuvuba.
And also add a fund for the leaders.
era tugenda kugattako n'ensako eyamba kuba
in the rural areas.
Daddala mu bitundu eby'ebyalo.
Also for the religious institutions, we shall create funds for their leaders.
Kati ne bannaffe abali mu nzikiriza ez'enjawulo nabo tugenda bateerawo ensako ebayambako.
So therefore, the whole idea
n'olw'ensonga eyo ekirowoozo kyonna
is that nobody should be idle.
Tewali ayina kulekerwa mabega yeekwase nti talina kyakola.
So therefore, you the young people who have come from the opposition, go back to your areas and you see where you can enter any of those programs.
Naffe abavubuka abavudde mu bibiina ebirala tubasaba era tubakubiriza mugende mu bitundu byammwe musobole okulaba engeri gye mwenyigira mu nteekateeka zino.
Because there is a program everywhere in Uganda.
Kubanga enteekateeka zino ziri mu buli kitundu kyonna ekya Uganda.
You belong to a parish.
Bw'obanga oli mumuluka.
You belong to a constituency where the Myogamani is.
Kubanga emyoga giri ku constituency level. Giri ku mutendero gwa constituency.
If you are in the ghetto.
Bw'obanga oli mu ghetto.
So wherever you are, there is a fund.
Buli wonna w'oneekyusa bw'oti waliwo enteekateeka eyo.
And where it is not yet clear, we shall put it. That's because it is the same principle.
Era bw'onaabanga waliwo wekitalambikiddwa bulungi bwonna tujja kufuba okulaba nga tuteekawo enteekateeka eyo.
The good thing with these funds.
Eky'omukisa omulungi ku nsako eno oba ku nsako zino.
If for instance you take PDM.
Nti bw'obanga okutte ssente za PDM.
You take 1 million.
Ofuna akakadde kamu.
And you pay back to your circle.
Ate ssente ezo ozizza mu ssaako yammwe ozizza mu kibiina kyammwe bw'oba osasula.
After 2 years.
Oluvannyuma lw'emyaka 2 teebereza.
You give 1,125,000.
Oluvannyuma lw'emyaka 2 okomyawo akakadde kamu n'emitwalo 12,150.
Now you compare with what the money lenders have been giving you.
Kakati bannange geraageranya nabana ababadde babawola ensimbi ssente amagoba ge babaweerako.
I hear if somebody would give you 1 million.
Mpulira nti oli bw'aba akuwoza akakadde kamu.
Him 5,800,000 a year.
Mbozaayo obukadde 5 omwaka.
N'emitwalo 8.
Mu emitwalo 8.
So this is the theft.
Mazima buno bubbi bwennyini.
That's why the border borders.
We're talking of
Akamyu okugula ente.
Abaana baffe aba boda baba nti mu mazima agula akamyu yeewola akamyu ate n'asasula nte.
N'asasula seddume.
Moreover akaseddume.
Yeewoza akamyu n'asasula seddume. Now that's what we don't want.
Mazima ekyo kye twagala okutaasa.
So I was happy to come here.
N'olwekyo ndi musanyufu bannange kubanga nzize wano olwaleero.
And hear all those groups which are here.
N'okusobola okuwuliriza era n'okulaba groups zonna eziri wano.
And they have given me their memorandums.
Era mumpadde ebiwandiiko byammwe.
So we are going to study them.
Tugenda kubyetegereza.
And see how to assist you.
Era tulabe engeri gye tugenda okubayambamu.
Katonda ababeere.
Tugenda kwesanyusaamu, tubategekedde okwewummuzaamu n'okwebaza Katonda olwa Pulezidenti Museveni kye twayise Kampala City Festival. Jangu ebyokulya n'okunywa tomooni bw'omanyi by'onoomalabo. Jangu tukeese obudde nga twebaza Katonda olw'ekyo. mwebale nnyo okujja buli ekubuddeyo bulungi abawutofu mbebaza okutambuza abantu bange era mubatambuze bulungi. Maama Alice Kaboyo webale nnyo abamunalutandika emyaka 4 agatutwala gye mutegedde. Ate maama ffe tunakwata mujja ekintu tugenda kitandika tusobole okulamikibwa obulungi tuvuge ekintu kyaffe. Kuba kalulu nga bategeeridde ekyensanagaleguleti
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, we thank you for the coverage you are doing and the sustained communications you are doing for the benefit of the citizens all over the country. We also take this opportunity to thank God for enabling us to get the nominations which we've just had a few minutes back. We've gone through some hurdles, but that is now water under the bridge. We are now candidates. Myself and all colleagues and supporters of the party that is Alliance for National Transformation. Let me also take this opportunity to thank the supporters all over the country who gave us signatures. You know, we've done 3 rounds. Even when the first round there were questions, second round within a day, we got another 60 districts. The last round they were asking for 10, we got 16 districts. And the beauty of it all was that we weren't getting these signatures just from members of the party, but also from many other Ugandans who belong even to other parties, but who have come to recognize Alliance for National Transformation as a party that is focused on building institutions or rebuilding them because they've been broken down. They have recognized Alliance for National Transformation as a party that believes in the building of systems that deliver services, systems that enable the country to function. And we are glad, because in 2021, we participated. Our participation then was to sow seeds. I would like to believe, if it's the will of God, that this time around is going to be a time of harvest. "63 years of independence, even for human beings. At 63, you've gone through quite a number of stages. You came from a baby, a toddler, and then you start walking and running, and you go through teenagers, and then you become middle-aged, you become old. You do a number of things through that whole process. A country at 63 should not be operating as if we are still in teenagers. We are stuck. Been stuck in a vicious cycle, 63 years. Saying things is easy. And as we do as politicians, all over the world, by the way, one thing we do is just say things. The biggest challenge that I notice, and I believe many people notice, is the inconsistency between what we say and what we do. Because every time when there is conflict between theory and practice, there is bound to be conflict. You don't see it only here in this country, you see it in the region, you see it on this continent, you even now see it in a number of other countries globally. We have a problem. There's absolutely no reason why a country like Uganda, well endowed in terms of fertile soils, in terms of the wealth that we have underground, gold, copper, tin, bauxite. Now we've even got rare earth minerals. that a country like this, you could still find poverty anywhere in this part of the country. Freshwater bodies, River Nile, which runs from the source of the Nile until where it exits. It's near Nimle, along that whole patch. You don't find any commercial agriculture or irrigation is used other than the big plantations of sugar in ginger. That's a reflection of the ineptness or sheer irresponsibility on the part of the political class in this country. Because when I talk about this, I'm not only talking about the current regime. We only had hope, those of us who went the bush to fight for 5 years. And we took power. And we condemned all things that had happened before. And we believed that there was a cutoff point that we were going to redirect politics and the management of the economy of this country into a new direction. Unfortunately, that has not come to be. And here again, we are in this very mess with a country that is literally broken. Institutions compromised, systems broken down, and worst case, the population itself has been brought down to its knees. General Museveni was here. I think he has been nominated as a candidate. I think for the 7th time. I keep hearing him talk about moving to middle income. It's not about middle income. It's not about GDP. It's not about all nature of things. However much any economy anywhere on this planet grows, if the population to whom that economy is supposed to serve is broken, then you wonder, where is your focus? Because we have seen countries that have got roads better than we have. More kilometers of tarmac roads, more capacity in terms of power generation and distribution, better cities, water systems that supply all citizens in the country, better educational systems, stronger armies, but they all broke down. You can check them out. They are there. Libya is the best example here on this continent. Country like Zimbabwe, Ivory Coast in West Africa. When you focus on the things which are seen by the eye, and you don't focus on how to develop the people to whom these things are supposed to serve, you're focusing on the wrong direction. And that's why I would like to ask the Ugandan people to retire General Museveni this time around in a peaceful way. Because he cannot take this country any further beyond where we are now. Every moment he stays in office, the country is going to get deeper and deeper into problems. Why so? Because we've got citizens who have reached a point to ask for money, even when they are going to put a signature on nomination of a candidate who is supposed to go and help them get out of their problems. You know, there's a problem in that country. A ruling party, because the party is the one which runs government, in a stretch of 3 months in which they were conducting their primaries, which culminated into Kololo, where they stripped themselves naked in broad daylight, and it showed who they are in Kololo. Unless the population is blind, unless the population, if our citizens are willful captives then they can continue with General Museveni and NRM, because Kororo would have been enough for the country to retire that group in power. Because in Kororo, they were electing SEC. SEC is the Central Executive Committee of the ruling party. And people were being bought like you buy goats in a market. An extension of General Museveni and NRM by the citizenry, if the citizenry chooses to do so, it's just you are being led by goats. There is evidence. Anybody can go and check it out. It was done in broad daylight. There were 300 plus petitions all over the country in the primaries of NRM. We all want a better future. I have no doubt about that. I know that there is a deep desire within our people to have a better future, where systems function, where if anybody cheats you, maybe takes your land, even if you don't have money, that you can access investigative capacities of a police, that nobody would ask you for a bribe, that nobody would intimidate you, whether they have money, whether they're in power, and that you can go to the courts of law, and that the DPP's office can also carry out prosecutions in a transparent way, so that a citizen would feel secure in the knowledge that the law protects them. That's not there. That's not there. Right now, anybody who has money or is in a position where he can have soldiers go with it, that's what they call impunity. That's the impunity that caused the coup in '71 when the first Obote regime was removed. That's the impunity that caused the thrashing of the regime in '79. Same impunity that caused the second fall of the UPC regime. Rutwa only took 6 months, so there wasn't even enough time, I think, for him to do anything. So we took power, and we thought that would be the end of impunity. Now it has been reorganized in a more systematic way. One thing I can get my cap off for General Museveni: he has deliberately, consciously, persistently done what he has always desired in his heart. So I take off my cap for him. He has broken our people. In such a sophisticated way that even those who are broken are still running around him. That's what the country is. We offer ourselves as a solution to that mess. First, we don't look at infrastructure as the primary factor. We don't look at roads, we don't look at bridges, we don't look at power generation and distribution. We don't look at health services, we don't look at educational institutions. We don't look at rail. We look first and foremost as the primary factor of the development process, the human being, the citizen. Because there's nothing that can contradict the logic that the human resource factor is the central core to any development process. So even when we look at education, quality healthcare services, agriculture for purpose of food security and nutrition, as facilitating factors to that core. The human being, the citizen, the human resource capacity. Because when you concentrate on that human being, you educate them well, you skill them, you ensure that they are healthy, that they are well fed. The sky is the limit. There is nothing they will not do. Even getting to the moon, they would get there. Because those who have gone there are not any better than we are. That's going to be our focus. And we are going to be launching our manifesto in a couple of days. But I'm bringing out the most salient factor. General Museveni keeps talking about peace. But all these things that are happening is because of peace. He's confused a bit because we have digressing. Our understanding of peace is at variance. He thinks peace is law and order. Peace is not the absence of war, as I heard him talk about it 2 days ago. Peace is the presence of justice. If you got injustices in a country and you don't have we go to our headquarters where we're going to move from here, and when we launch our manifesto in a couple of days, we'll exhaust what we are talking about. But as I conclude, peace is not the absence of war. Peace is the presence of justice. You can have an army, you can have intelligence services, you can have police, as we do have them, as we've had them even in the past. As many African has had them. But when there is no justice, we intend to build sustainable peace in this country because we want to focus on justice. So there is a rock firm foundation on the basis of which our people can go around doing their own things. Not caring whether you have an uncle in government, a mother who knows someone in government, or even when you don't have money, you don't have a cousin, you don't have a nan to call in case you find yourselves in a problem. No. There must be justice for all. And at this point, I would like to call upon the government. Please, today you are in power. Tomorrow you won't. Deal with those who are not with you in a manner in which you would want them to deal with you when you are out there and they are in there. That's simple logic. Dr. Kano Chiza Besje has been incarcerated beyond the mandatory bail period. 188 days passed. A period within which, if they had any investigations, and they were saying they should have proceeded with the case, they have not. So I'd like to ask the Ugandan people, most of them who seem to hide all the time, if a prominent political leader, a war veteran, an officer of NRA, UPDF, that is done to him, what about you? Most of whom don't even have the capability to pick a phone.
The economy is that in 1986, our current president, President Museveni, came and said the problem was security. Now security is done. What is remaining is insecurity in our homes, in our new pockets. And the people are poor, whereby 84% of Ugandans live on 26%. In short, every 26 people are the ones, every one person of 26 people are supporting 84. It means poverty in this country is high. I heard President Museveni talking about GDP. I heard him talking about poverty reduced in Uganda. But those are numbers which are disputable. Poverty is in how you see your life, how you manage your day lives, how you live in your house. Are you meeting your basic needs? Are you able to take your children to school? Are you able to get medical? Are you able to transport yourself from one point to another? Are you having a roof over your head? Is your life okay? These are the issues why we come in this election. I want to thank my party, Forum for Democratic Change, for giving me an opportunity to carry their flag as a presidential candidate. And this I attribute it to my party leaders, my president, my brother, who is the current president of the party, POA, that's Patrick Amriat Oboy, my chairman, Jack Sabit, whom I've known from my younger days as a civil servant, and they have mentored me up to date, all my members of NEC, National Council, Delegates Conference, and the party members and the Uganda at large. This election which I come, I bring a new menu, which all of Ugandans should take. I don't come with hatred, I don't come with anger, I come to build bridges where there are no bridges. I come to repair bridges where are broken. 40 years down the road, President Museveni has done what he can. The remaining period he can't do it. It needs a new blood to fix it. And I'm asking people of Uganda, this is an opportunity for you to allow new blood in Nandala Mafabi to fix this country for you. This country, our youth are suffering. Poverty is on increase with the youth. They tell the youth are taking marijuana, but they're taking it not because they want, but because they're unemployed. We need to invest in the productive sectors instead of investing in non-productive sectors. This country, we have the best climate which can grow anything. Agriculture is our backbone. I can tell you we can even grow stones and the people will make money. Our problem we have, our country does not look at, our leaders does not look at a farmer, what he should get out of his produce. That's why many farmers have abandoned cotton, have abandoned coffee, have abandoned tea, have abandoned sugarcane, have abandoned potato nation. And that's why the poverty is on increase. I and my team, if you give us power in January 2026, I want to assure you that the agriculture sector will get 10% of the national budget so that we develop this country. As we develop the agriculture sector, we need to look at what the farmers produce. Do we have market? If there's no market, the government will make sure provides the market. We shall have stores, which you know them, silos, to keep our produce. Farmers suffer because they have a problem of what we call post-harvest. A man has a small house with his wife, his children. He produces 10 bags of maize. He has nowhere to keep them. I want to tell you that if you have a responsible government, this maize should have been kept by government and issue the farmer with what we call a warehouse receipt, which he can go anywhere and cash it anytime for the purpose of his life. I talk about coffee. I can tell you I am a to buy ours for purpose of going to brand theirs instead of us getting the highest premium. As a president of your country, if you give me the mandate, coffee, which is the leading foreign exchange earner, which was one of those which brought independence in Uganda, will get the best treatment and you will get value for this country. We intend to revamp and, of course, I can say revitalize cooperatives. I am a chairman of this cooperative union, the only surviving one. There is no country which can develop without cooperatives. Leave lip service of talking about cooperatives. You must have cooperatives which work. I want to tell you, I come with experience in the cooperative world. I will ensure cooperative societies work. And when a cooperative society works, it will ensure that the people of Uganda, who are those lower side people, will earn lives. And that's why I say I come with experience to make sure that all original cooperative societies are revitalized, start functioning for purpose of helping our poor farmers to earn a living and put money in their pockets. This one is a sure deal because you are dealing with a person with experience, and I come with total experience in that area. Of course, all of you know this cooperative union, when we came, was dead, was on its knees. Now it's the growth of the region, and that's why you go to Bujusu, you're having people putting up iron sheets or tiles or buying cars, doing good life better to look after themselves. We intend to ensure that we have money at a village level. All of you know we launched a manifesto, which is now being copied by some party members and some members of other parties, including the president of this country, because our manifesto was the first to be launched. It's the best manifesto, and I implore every Ugandan to read it. And one of the pillars there, of course, we talk about employment. We talk about strategic investment. We talk about human capital. We talk about special interest. All these are embedded, the 5 pillars, in our manifesto. I'll talk about a few in a summary so that you know what type of manifesto we have. In village level, we intend to have money at village level. Every village will have 100 million shillings every year. Every parish will have 100 million. Every sub-county will have, those are for the leaders. Going up the district at 500 million. Somebody will ask, where will you get the money for a village? Currently, this country is bleeding. Corruption and mismanagement totals 10 trillion shillings. We have 72,000 villages. If I give you 100 million, it means that is 7.2 trillion. So the interest which I'm going to do is to plug and ensure there is no corruption in this country. And I'll have 10 trillion to service the village levels. I can tell you villages, we are going to have money under my leadership. Others are saying they are going to do it again. They have been around for 40 years. They have not done it. In fact, President Museveni does not need to put a poster anywhere for 40 years because he has been around. If somebody can put a poster, then there must be a problem. If somebody can talk about going to fight corruption when you have had the power for 40 years, if somebody can talk about that he's going to change roads when he has been here for 40 years, if somebody can talk that he's going to give you money in his pockets, in your pockets when he has been here for 40 years and he has not done it, it shows that's a total failure. It's now time to give new blood who can implement this idea. Sports. We have said sports, every school will have sports fields, facilities. I heard President Museveni saying no registering a school without a sports facility. Where has it been 40 years? Where? That clearly now copying and pasting. So who can do it is Nandala Mafabi and his team. Every school will have sports facilities. I can speak without contradiction. If a Speaker of Parliament can build a stadium, what about government? I can assure you this is possible and can be done. Colleagues and countrymen, we have talked about having employment for our youth. The reason why we have unemployment is because we are, instead of putting money in productive sectors, we're putting in unproductive sectors. Our government will make sure money is put in productive sectors to generate jobs. The youth, I want to assure you, under my government, you are going to get jobs. And this is why we even start and said every graduate who is going to leave, the day on your graduation, you will go with 1 million shillings to go and start life. That shows it is possible. I have heard President Museveni saying that within now 2 years, he's going to provide them some money. What happened 40 years down the road? You never saw that graduates are suffering. It is important that you have a leader who will keep his word, who will move this country forward. I come here without any hatred. No hatred. We want to thank President Museveni has done what he could for 40 years. It's time for him to be a senior citizen, our advisor to us. Let him rest. We don't want him to die because of stress of work. Here are young men, now Nandala coming to do that for him. And I can tell you, I am the best candidate for this election. I'm calling people of Uganda to support me with that fear of favor. I want you to support me. I am the best you have. This is the best menu you have. I ask all parties to support me. I am to support me. And I can tell you, nobody will be witch-hunted. No. We say thank you. And I repeat, we are going to build bridges where there are not, repair where there are no bridges. Finally, on this leg, we have decided to make our rally at a place called Kampala Road in Butabika. That place is in a slum area. We did it intentionally to tell the people of Uganda that we are aware of your problem. And we are coming there to show you that this problem where you are is what we are coming to solve. It's not that we can also go to a better place like Nachivubo, no, but we are coming where that rally is to tell you that we are part of that problem and it's time to solve it. And that's why our rally is in Butabika, in a place where people are disadvantaged. And that's why I ask people, you say you want to protect our gains. You want to protect gains of poverty, you want to protect gains of people suffering, or what? The gains should not be for a few, it should be for the entire country. And nobody made an application to God to be born in Uganda. All of us found ourselves here. And that's why we say, I want you to go to a hospital, whether in Kisoro, or Koboko, or Zombo, get equal treatment. That's why we want all regional hospitals now to become referral hospitals instead of having one referral hospital. That's why I'm saying we don't want to do medical tourism where people go to South Africa, go to India, go to Dubai, go to America, to UK for treatment. And those who go are either members of parliament, ministers, or those who can catch the eye of a president. I want you to go to Mbale Hospital and get what you would get in India. I want you to go to a Royal Hospital to get what you would get in Turkey. And this is why we come in, that my grandmother in Zombo, my mother in Kavare, my father in Busia, when he cannot see the eye of a president, should go anywhere and get treatment than looking for favors from those in power. I plead and tell you that this is possible. I can assure will be made better and everybody will need education. And you can see Electoral Commission was checking my papers to confirm if I have gone to school. There are people who have not gone to school, not because they not like, but because they have not had capacity to do it. We need equal education. We need equal health. We need infrastructure which work for all of us. We need our elders to be taken care of. We need houses for civil servants like medical facilities. You will call Mulago Hospital, where there's a building where used to be CML. Those were quarters for junior doctors. I want to ask you a question. Supposing a mother is in Mulago Hospital, going to deliver, and now he must be having a cesarean, be operated on. Our doctor stays in Mukono, who is supposed to work. By the time he comes, will the woman be there? The woman will be dead. Those are things which we say misplacement of planning in this country. For people whom I put ahead, I will respect all the workers, the civil servants, the teachers. There's no teacher who should not be paid equally, whether you did math, or you did chemistry, or you did physics, or you did English, you are the same. We need all these teachers. Mathematics is never taught in Rugisu or Uganda. Mathematics is taught in English. And that means you need a teacher of English so that you are able to understand the math in English. So what disadvantage a teacher of English? All this will be resolved and this country will move together. Anyone who decides to start dividing people like that means is dividing the country. This country is disunited. I come here to reconcile it, to unify it, so that when you go to Guru, you go to Kisoro, you go anywhere, you are treated as a Ugandan, all of you loving each other. So I come as a reconciler, and I'm the one who brings unity in this country. I want elders to be taken care of. I can assure you the elders, you will have homes, you will have a monthly salary. I will not add just age, so that you say few can get. I will make sure each and everyone is treated equally. Uganda belongs to all of us. One Uganda, one people,
Thank you very much.
For your legacy, for your security, and for what you and your people have earned in the last 40 years is to allow a peaceful, orderly, and democratic transition of power. That opportunity is available because we are not vengeful people. We still believe in peace. We still believe in justice. And yes, we believe in reconciliation. All we want is a free and fair election. No military violence, no police brutality. That is not too much to ask for. Let this election not be a military operation. Let this be a democratic election. That should not be too much to ask for. You are aware that for the last 5 years, your regime has done everything to break our spirits. They tried to silence us, but we are even louder. We are not giving up. And you know that you cannot defeat people who don't give up. Now to fellow Ugandans, I don't need to tell you that the 2026 election is already not fair. You have seen General Museveni's son, who is also head of our military, promising to kill our people in order to guarantee 80% of the vote to his father. He also said that during these presidential campaigns, we will be forcefully guarded by his private militia, the SFC, the same SFC which is responsible for abducting and torturing our supporters. So as we go for this campaign, it's like walking into the shadow of the valley of death. But I say to you, comrades, fear no evil, because the Lord Almighty is with us. I say to you, brothers and sisters, that we shall walk but not get tired. We shall suffer, but we shall not die. It will be painful, but we shall win in the end. We shall reach a new Uganda. We have no doubt about that. We shall reach in a Uganda where you will move in town and not see guns on the streets. In a Uganda where security will be protecting the citizens and not terrorizing them. A Uganda where teachers, soldiers, health workers, and other workers are paid promptly and adequately. Where farmers earn fair income from their produce. Where traders are not suffocating under exploitative tax regimes. That is a new Uganda that we dream of. That is a new Uganda that we shall definitely get to. A Uganda where citizens can demonstrate on the streets about injustice, and the response of the government will be to listen to them and not to shoot them dead. A Uganda where jobs are not for the connected few, but for all those who qualify and are willing to work. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall unveil our manifesto, and we shall go ahead to paint a clear picture of that new Uganda that we dream of, that new Uganda that we believe. But ultimately, about leadership, that will be a Uganda where leaders will be serving the people and not the other way around. I tell you, my friends, that Uganda is possible in our lifetime. And with your courage, with our sacrifice, and with the grace of God, we shall reach that new Uganda. Now, as the National Unity Platform, even with the little resources that we had for the last 4.5 years, we have already demonstrated that we are able to use less and achieve more. We have managed to acquire the biggest political party headquarters in Uganda. We have launched the first school of leadership, and we have gone ahead to groom leaders at no cost to them. Leaders that will uphold our values and offer leadership to the next generation after we retire. We have supported families of political prisoners and missing comrades. We have refused to be compromised. We have held onto our principles even when it has come at great personal cost. We have pursued and secured sanctions against those who steal from our people and against those who oppress our people. We have kept the struggle alive, and we are growing even stronger. Now to the international community. Uganda's freedom is not only for Ugandans. Uganda's freedom is for everybody. If Ugandans are safe, if Ugandans are not safe, neither are our neighbors, nor the international dwellers or the international community that always receives us when we go seeking for asylum. Please stand with us as we stand for democracy and human rights. Now to our senior comrade, Dr. Kiza Besije, to our brothers Alex Waiswa Mufumbiro, Comrade Bobby Young, Eddie Mutwe, Achireu Chivumbi, Machete, Gaddafi, and all other political prisoners, we honor you, we think about you, we pray for you, and we are fighting for you. To your families and every Ugandan that has been affected in this struggle, please don't lose hope. Your suffering will never go in vain. Now finally, to the comrades that I will be moving with on this campaign trail, the foot soldiers, the ordinary citizens of Uganda who have nothing else to offer to their country but their selves, their bodies. First of all, I thank you, brothers and sisters. We have stood together through the tear gas, through the bullets, through the beatings, through the abductions, through the courts, through the prison walls, and through the funerals. You have been my shield. You have been my eyes. You have been my courage. You have been my strength. You have been my friends, my true friends. Today, as we go into what is likely to be an even more violent campaign, I will be relying on you, my friends. We are embarking on a long walk to freedom. Whatever lies ahead of us is going to test everything that we are and everything that we stand for. But I guarantee you, brothers and sisters, freedom will come at the end of the day. Because after all, freedom never comes easy. Our grandparents shed blood for the independence of this country 62 years ago. Our parents shed blood for what they believed was a liberation 40 years ago. Our comrades in this very generation are in prison for this very struggle. They've shed blood for this struggle. Many of them are missing and they don't even have graves for this struggle. Let us carry them in our hearts. Let us carry them in our minds. Let us do this in their name. Brothers and sisters, the same courage and discipline that has kept us going since 2017 should be the same courage and discipline to carry us through this campaign. Your duty in this campaign, I must remind you, will not be to protect me. Yes, your duty in this campaign is not to protect me. It is to protect yourselves. It is to protect each other. It is to protect those ordinary people that come to support us on our rallies. I request you to be vigilant in every village that we shall enter and on every rally that we go to. Please be very solid and be very sober. Please be very calm and be very disciplined. Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. Be careful, but don't show fear, because this regime wants us to be fearful. My brothers and sisters, I want you to understand what we are fighting for. We are fighting for a better Uganda. We are fighting for the farmers, for the border riders, for the young graduates who have no jobs. We are fighting for the ghetto people, those ghetto youth whose future is being stolen away in exchange for a few shillings. We are fighting for the ordinary children whose future is empty and we want to give meaning to. We are fighting for those police officers who are ordered to brutalize you because you are fighting for their children's future, and afterwards they have to return to their uniport, to an empty house, to children with no school fees, and to a family with no health insurance. Please don't look at them as your enemies, because they are not your enemies. They are victims too. They also wish that things can change someday. Brothers and sisters, if we succeed, this country will be free and things will change forever. It will never be the same again. Unfortunately, if we don't succeed, nobody will ever believe that we did our best. that will mean that we are condemning our children, those that are born and those that are unborn, to slavery. And that is not what we should be doing. Therefore, brothers and sisters, failure is not an option. We must get our freedom, or at least die trying to get our freedom. I don't know how much danger is awaiting us on this campaign trail, but I know that we are going to keep moving with hope and faith. We are carrying the hope of our entire generation, a hope of millions and millions of Ugandans. Brothers and sisters, I want you to understand that this that we are carrying on our shoulders is a historical responsibility. So prepare yourselves. Hug your loved ones one more time and tell them that we are going to war. We are going to a war that we never chose, a war that we are not even trained for, but a war that has been imposed on us by our oppressors. We are facing an enemy that is armed to the teeth, and we are facing the enemy barehanded, only armed with the truth and God. We are fighting this because it is a duty that we must take on. We are fighting for our God-given right to live as human beings in our own country. We will never retire. We will never give up. We will fight until we are free, and I'm sure we shall be free in the end. This is not a matter of when, but it's not a matter of if. This is a matter of when, and we know that we are going to achieve our freedom. Brothers and sisters, I want to conclude by guaranteeing to you that are here with us and all Ugandans all over the world that in the end we shall be free. In the end, everything is going to be all right. And if everything is not all right yet, then that will not be the end. Thank you very much for God and my country.
Don't know unless the candidate chooses, so that is the guidance from his team. Thank you very much.
General was trying to let me know that I should emphasize the point of justice and equality, more so fighting for the freedom of Dr. Chiza Besigye, and we shall do that as Common Man's Party. Even after winning this election, which we are going to win by a landslide, part of my agenda in the first 100 days is to release Dr. Besigye unconditional and all other political prisoners. Ladies and gentlemen, time has come that we bring back the economy of this country in the hands of the Ugandan common man. Our business community is crying over foreigners that are getting involved in each and every resources. We Ugandans are naturally accommodative. We believe in working with other human beings since the world has become one single village. However, we strongly believe that we need meaningful, formidable investors. Foreigners that are loitering around this country illegally, the day I become president of this great country, will be deported immediately. I intend to revisit the East African Cooperation Protocol in my first 100 days. We strongly believe that our sisters, Kenya, Tanzania, are not treating us fairly. We opened our markets to them, but they keep on closing their markets on us. Kenya, for example, wherever they face a drought, they welcome our maize and agricultural products in. But wherever yields are low, they ban our agricultural products. Even more, go ahead to cause us diplomatic embarrassments. I remember 1 year, was it last year, when they said that our maize was maybe contaminated with something. So we don't believe that they're acting in good faith. we shall revisit that protocol. We as common men have interest in Congo and Southern Sudan, not Kenya and Tanzania. We shall ban Swahili as our national language. We shall ban it. We need French instead. French has a wider coverage. Burundi, they speak French. Congo, they speak French. Rwanda, they speak French. Congo Brazzaville, they speak French. Gabon, they speak French. Central African Republic, they speak French. We don't need Swahili. We need French. Ladies and gentlemen, we intend to nationalize quite a few services. The health sector will fully be nationalized under the common man's government. We believe that as government, we must avail health care to those without wealth. Therefore, we need a universal health care facility or program for this country. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall as well take over the entire education sector and ban private education in this country. So with those very few words, I've been advised by the Secretary General that I use 2 minutes in Uganda so that we can make the common man understand what we have tried to. Banyabo, abali eyo bannayuganda naddala omuntu wa bulijjo gwe tuyita the common man, luno olunaku lwa ssanyu, ndi musanyufu nnyo okutuuka wano olubadde lugendo luwanvu. Ekibiina kyaffe olw'okuba kibiina ky'amaanyi nnyo okujja kwakyo kwatiisa buli omu. Okuva lwe twalayira olusiniya lwafuuka olusaniya. Naye naffe tetulina bigambo bya kwetonda okubanga tulina ekibiina ekiwagirwa buli omu. Luno olutalo lw'okununula omuntu wa bulijjo tulubaddemu emyaka 25. Njagala okwebaza akakiiko k'ebyokulonda okubeera professional. Kantadde ku bunkeeke bungi mbadde kakiiko k'ebyokulonda nga obunkeeke bungi ennaku 3. Nga buli gwe neekubako omugambo wayo ebintu nga biruddewo nti munyagwa kakkana tuli mu kandolinga okukola mulimu gwaffe. Neera mbeebaza bassebe omulimu ogukoze neyanziza. However, njagala okwongera okubagamba nze Munyagwa Mubaraka ne Secretary General wange Ssaabawandiisi General Bigirwa Moses tubadde mu lutalo lw'okununula omuntu wa bulijjo okumala emyaka 25. Tewali asobola lutusomesa. Tuli ba generaali abawedde emirimu. So bannaffe tusaba abalulimu batuwulirize naffe. Njagala okubategeeza bwe tuyina manifesto yaffe gye tuyita Common Man's Manifesto. Bwe tunaaba tufunye akakisa nga tuwandikira Electoral Commission netukiriza ne police. Leero tubadde naffe tulina okukola olukuŋŋaana naye obudde butulese. Batukiriza oba enkya oba olunaku olulala tukole naffe olukuŋŋaana gaggadde. Common Man's Party is a mass party. Lwakuba eringa submarine. Ekitundu ekisinga tekirabika, akalabika kungulu ke katono. Naye abantu bajja kwekanga. So tusaba Electoral Commission etukirize naffe tukole olukuŋŋaana tulangirire manifesto yaffe gye tuyita the Common Man's Manifesto ensi egitegeere. Njagala okubategeeza erimu ebintu bingi. Manifesto yaffe yesinga okuwoma. Tugamba ebyenfuna by'eggwanga lino bidde mu mikono gy'omuntu wa bulijjo owa wano. Twagala ba investors kituufu, twagala bannaffe ab'amawanga amalala ne twagala abo bokka abatugasa. Njagala okubategeeza omugwira yenna ali wano nga talina bipapula bimwogerako bwe mmala okuwangulwa pulezidenti mu nnaku 10 esooka asimbula alinyeddako. Njagala okubategeeza bwe mmala okubeera pulezidenti w'eggwanga lino mbagambye endagaano gye tuyina ne n'amawanga ga East Africa tugenda kugitunulamu kubanga erabika tetuyamba nga Uganda. Bannaffe aba Kenya n'Abatanzania tebeeyisa bulungi. Enjala bwe bakuba ng'omusana gubookeza kasooli wa Uganda bamwaniriza n'ebirime ebirala. Bwe babaza Kenya ebiggalawo ne nga tetwagala kasooli wa Uganda. Tekoma ku ekyo n'egamba n'okugamba kasooli wa Uganda alimu eddagala, a diplomatic embarrassment. Tetulina kye twetaaga Kenya. Waliwo abagamba twetaagayo omwalo. Kituufu. Naffe tuyina amakubo agatwala ebyamaguzi byabwe Maraba ne Busia. Bwe banaggalawo Mombasa, nja kuggalawo Maraba ne Busia nga president. Bajja kuggulawo Mombasa. Tetwetaaga Kenya olwaleero. Twetaaga Congo na South Sudan. Njagala okubategeeza n'Oluswayiri lwennyini tetulwetaaga. Abaana baffe abalusoma tetulaba kye bagenda kukola Kenya na Tanzania. Nabo batwenkanya nabo ebizibu. Twetaaga olulimi olunayamba abaana baffe. Olufalansa lusinga Oluswayiri. Lukola mawanga mangi aga Africa okusinga Oluswayiri. Twetaaga Luzungu na Lufalansa. Njagala okubategeeza nga mmalayo. mu kalulu kano n'obuwembefu obw'ekitalo nga ngoberera amateeka ngenda kulwanirira nnyo eddembe lya Dr. Kizza Besigye okulaba ng'ateebwa. Dr. Kizza Besigye ategeeza kinene nnyo eri eggwanga lino. We shall advocate for his release. Naye ne bw'ataateebwe nga NRM government emutadde, bwe n'abeera president mu ssaawa 48 zokka nsuubira ajja kuba ali ku street za Kampala ng'akyakala. Nja kumuyimbula ng'ate mu bitiibwa eby'ekitalo. Njagala okubategeeza bassebo ne bannyabo nga mmaliriza. Common Man's Party ekibiina, it's a mass party. Mulabe ennyambala yaffe. Ennyambala yaffe mutwetegereze mutulabe. Kyabavubuka okusinga n'abasajja emyaka egy'omu makkati. Naye tetukkiririza mu ffujjo nakuteeka bannayuganda ku bunkenke. You see? Obunkenke no. Obunkenke obutalina makulu. Obunkenke no. Tugenda kusamba politics owakawoowo naye namwe mujja kukkiriza nti obusajja butusambye akawoowo. Neyanza nnyo neyanzeege for God and my country.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so delighted to be here this evening, and I'm so thankful to everyone who is here. Really, this is the day that the Lord has made. I'm the last candidate, but I'm sure by the beginning of 2026, I'll be the President of the Republic of Uganda. My name is Sarongo Bulira Frank Kabinga. And when I was coming, you saw a heavy downpour. It had a message that Uganda is changing soon. In the next few months, we're going to have another president in Uganda. I'm the flag bearer for the Revolutionary People's Party, RPP, and the leader of Uganda Federal Democratic Organization, which was founded by the late Dr. Aggrey Kiyingi, who died recently in Australia. I was the personal assistant to Dr. Aggrey Kiyingi. Through the years, he went through suffering from the time he left Uganda, when he went to exile in Australia, when he was charged of murder cases, when he was charged of terrorism, working with ADF, etc. When he died, our executive sat and resolved to make me the leader of the Uganda Federal Democratic Organization. I won't say a lot because we have no time for talking. The only time we have is for action and to do things that are supposed to be done to change our country, Uganda. As the Revolutionary People's Party, we are standing on federalism. The biggest problem of our country is the system of governance. Even if Mr. Museveni goes tomorrow and we have another president, remaining with the current decentralization system, we shall not have any change at all. When we look at countries like United Arab Emirates, Sharjah is competing with Dubai. Dubai is competing with Abu Dhabi. We want the 16 federal states making up Uganda to compete amongst themselves. We want the Kabalega International Airport in Bunyoro. We want to see the people of Toro also enjoying and benefiting from the tourism in Toro, tourism city. We want the people of Kapchora to enjoy the money coming from the Bogoya. You know, Kapchora has the best Bogoya in this world. Even when you are buying Bogoya in Turkey, they tell you this is coming from Uganda and it's coming from Kapchora. But government is not doing anything to see how to help the Sabines to promote the Bogoya they are growing. Even in Emirates, I found Bogoya being served from Kapchora. We have Jessa milk. It is served in Emirates. Ankole would be the #1 beneficial of the milk and all the products coming from the cows. But everything is being centered in Kampala. It's very unfortunate that we are suffering because of the political system. We want Mr. Museveni to go, but we also want to change the system of governance in this country. And we are going to do it by hook or crook. You're all going to be surprised who will be the next president of Uganda. He won't be any one of the people you've been familiar with. It is the reason as to why Dr. Kiyingi was in exile. He was not in Uganda, but he was the most feared person when he was not even in Uganda. And Mr. Museveni was not fearing the opposition politicians in Uganda. I was doing everything with him. I was his personal assistant. We have all it means and takes to change this country. Within just a month. We don't even need the 3 months. Within just a month. We are law-abiding citizens, and we are going to traverse the whole country, mobilize Ugandans to vote for the symbol of the lion. Our symbol is a lion. Empologometaria muddo. Thank you. Thank you. I will stop there because time is going, and we have an event where we are going to unveil our campaign and the federal agenda 2026. Thank you so much for God and my country. Njakozesa ekigambo nti ffe tulinga Mwami Museveni watera okweyita Ssaabayeekera. Ffe enkola yaffe ya njawulo era ebintu byaffe mujja biraba bya njawuloko ku bye mumanyidde okulaba ennaku zino. Tubadde tutalaaga eggwanga lino okumala emyaka ng'ena emabega. Tutambudde eggwanga lino nju ku nju. Tulina networks. Lwakuba ffe tetuzannya amatatu gaffe nga tugalaga abalabe. Amatatu gaffe agasinga gaba ku kifuba. Bannayuganda tulina network boda ku boda. Twakuŋŋaanya emikono nga twetaagisibwa emikono 98 mu district 98. Twakuŋŋaanya emikono mu district 113. Ne tugireeta weewaawo twalina okusoomoozebwa nti baatuuka ne batugamba nti emikono ate tegituukiridde muddeeyo mu district 42. Network yaffe neddayo tetwajeema kuba tuli bagoberezi b'amateeka n'ebiragiro. Ne tuddayo ne tukuŋŋaanya emikono ne baddamu ne batugamba okwosa jjo nti ate kati wabulayo muddeeyo district 15. Twabadde tugenda bivaamu nga tubikooye ne tugamba kirabika Mwami Museveni tayagala ggwanga likyuke mu mateeka, likyuke na kalulu, tumuleke yeevuganye. Naye ne batubuulirira ne tusindika networks zaffe ne ba members baffe abali mu districts ez'enjawulo ne bakola butaweera ne batambula nju ku nju ne baddamu ne bakuŋŋaanya emikono era ne tugiwaayo mu Electoral Commission. Naye era nabagambye egyo gye nkomako siddamu. Egyo bwe bagigaana nga tubalekera akalulu kaabwe, ebisigadde Katonda anaalamula. Weewaawo twafuna okusoomoozebwa okutagambika mu kukuŋŋaanya emikono naddala mu districts eziri mu Busoga, mu Eastern Uganda Busoga, Eruuka. Ne batugamba minisita wa presidency takkiriza muntu yenna waludda luvuganya kukuŋŋaanya mikono. Waliwo munnange ono baamusiiba ebuyende. Ibirirako bakulabe. Oyo baamusiba ebuyende ne bamuggyako emikono gyange 150 nti awandiika bayeekera. Nti minisita oba ye Babalanda mbu tebakkiriza atali wa gavumenti kukuŋŋaanya mikono. Naye ng'eggwanga lyonna likimanyi tuli mu election season. Ne ngamba musirikale kyono atamanyi mateeka na biragiro. Era bampa ennamba ya DPC ne njogera naye ne mugamba tujja kudiiringa naawe ng'omuntu. Tujja kutwala mateeka ng'omuntu woba osazeewo okumenya amateeka g'eggwanga. So tufunye okusoomoozebwa kwa maanyi naye Mukama wa maanyi amazima tegeekweka era y'ensonga lwaki ffe tusembyeyo okutongozebwa ekikakasa nti ffe tugenda okuwangula obukulembeze bw'eggwanga lino Uganda.
With these few words, I want to thank the iPod for having trusted us, NRM, for the last 5 years with the leadership. I now peacefully hand over to Mao.
As the NRM hands over to DP, may we all rise and give a big round of applause to the national chairman of NRM for chairing IPOD for a very long time. Thank you so much.
Request that we leave our personal items at our seats. That includes say handbags, mobile phones, so that we can stand freely and comfortably during the photo. After the photo with the delegates of the Democratic Party for democratic change. Delegates of JEMA, may we kindly come forward.
Politics must be like medicine. A political leader should be like a doctor. A doctor looking at patients. And this doctor will only help those patients if he makes a correct diagnosis of what the patients are suffering from. If he makes a wrong diagnosis and makes a wrong prescription, the patients will not get cured. They may even die. When it comes to society, it is the same process. You either identify the problems of the society correctly and apply correct answers, or you will not give them a solution. And that's why the NRM has identified the 4 principles which we keep talking about: patriotism, love Uganda. Why? Because you need it for your own good. Secondly, Pan-Africanism, love Africa. Why? Because you need it for your own good. I don't have time to go into the details, but we have explained this elsewhere. Thirdly, socio-economic transformation. We cannot go on with the pre-capitalist societies, traditional societies, and we think that we shall manage to survive in the future. And finally, democracy. We think with these 4, we shall succeed, and we have been able to move, as you have seen. In the last 40 years almost, the NRM has been able to revive the economy of Uganda, and although we have still problems, but we are much stronger than we had ever been before. If you have a different understanding, at least don't be violent. Don't use violence. Don't use subversion. Like the members here were saying, yes, they have got their different points of view, but let them express them peacefully, and then we see whether we agree or disagree. Now, when you have got a right understanding and you act right, then things will move. The country will be peaceful. But even if you have got a wrong understanding, but you are not violent, you don't act wrongly, yes, you will make mistakes, but the country will remain stable, and in the future, those mistakes will be understood and corrected. Now, the disaster in Africa is that people have got wrong understanding, but also use wrong methods. They are wrong on all accounts. They don't understand correctly, and they act wrongly, using wrong tactics: violence, subversion, cheating. This is the crisis you get in these countries. This is why Uganda here was in chaos. I don't have time to go into all that. And IPOD is not a center for parties trying to justify themselves. We shall have time for that. But because of all those mistakes, that's why you get chaos in Africa. Because even if you make a mistake, but if the country remains peaceful, in the future it will be corrected. and you will have where to start from. But when you are wrong understanding, wrong methods, that's how you get this total breakdown that we have seen in so many of the countries. Now, in Sorot Flying School, we needed most pilots and engineers of the aircrafts. But they didn't have money to pay all of them well. So, the school was about to close. When I went there, I found out that a pilot in a private airline gets 25 million shillings. Now here in Soroti Flying School, they were trying to pay a pilot 1 million, because that's what they could afford. And also pay the secretary, the typist, the same amount of money, pay the cleaner, pay what, wanting to pay everybody. Then I said about few people, the one we need most badly are pilots and engineers. The secretaries can be paid well later. If you have got money to pay all of them well, good, but if you don't have, what do you do? Should the flying school close? Because either we all get or nobody gets. That logic is not correct. We freedom fighters, we always prioritize. Kamukamugo iki, akwati mpola akola iki, bugubugushiki. When I advised them, they agreed to pay the pilots well. And they are not very many, because the pilots were few. And then the engineers. Now, the other people, the cleaners, the what, those can come later. But now they are trying, we are all working in Sorot Flying School, we must all get equal. Yes, but we need pilots more than the cleaners. Belonging to iPod and all the delegations, it is now my honor to call the meeting, the summit, to order. I call the
of the members present from the different political parties. Being signed by the party presidents of the different. From the session that has just been taking place, we shall listen in later on from the different party presidents. Shall have brief remarks from them as the event program continues. But after this, representatives present of the different political parties, starting from the left of this city.
Pigeon facts.